Hey, fellow English teachers, Beth Hall from Coach Hall Writes here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about 3 ways to save time as you grade your students' essays. As secondary English teachers, we know how important it is to have our students write. But we also know that when our students write, that means that we have 100, sometimes even 150 essays to grade. And that's time consuming, especially when you want to provide your students with meaningful feedback to help them improve. I'm often asked what is my best advice for new high school English teachers. And honestly, this tip is something that I had to learn the hard way. And that is assign shorter assignments. As a novice teacher, I'm pretty sure I assigned like 3 essays in the first 9 weeks of school, and it felt like I was constantly grading. Admittedly, my students probably did improve as writers, but there was a much better way that I could have been doing it. I could have been assigning shorter assignments and then building up to that first big essay. So what do I mean by shorter assignments? Well, here are some suggestions. One thing that you might do is you might have your students write a thesis statement. They can do this after they've read a novel, a poem, a short story, a speech, an article. It's a very versatile assignment. One of the reasons why I like to have students write thesis statements is because it helps them reinforce grammar skills, they can build their vocabulary, and they practice making a claim. However, writing a thesis statement can be a bit tricky. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to give my students a sentence frame. A sentence frame, or a sentence stem, as some might call it, is basically a starter sentence where students are able to plug in their ideas. This helps them better articulate their thoughts while still constructing a thesis statement. These assignments are also relatively quick and easy to grade. You could have it be a completion grade if you want to, or you can make a rubric. Now, one question that you might have is, okay, so if they're writing a thesis statement, does that mean that they have to write an essay? And the answer is no. This is just a way to reinforce what you've talked about in previous classes. Because I teach a lot of nonfiction in my classes, I like to use these assignments as a check-in. For instance, are my students understanding the rhetorical choices that we've talked about? Are they choosing strong verbs? Have they correctly identified the message, argument, or purpose? And if there is some sort of disconnect, it's a quick way for me to know that I need to go back and reteach a concept. Another quick assignment that you could have students do is, instead of having them write an essay, have them write a body paragraph. One of the things I realized as a novice teacher when I was assigning all those essays is that I was writing the same feedback to my students from one paragraph to the next, and then that same feedback from student to student as well. So one way to curb this is to have students write a body paragraph, just one. Go over your expectations for what a paragraph is. I like to tell my students that they need a topic sentence that conveys their main idea. I want to see layers of evidence and commentary, and I want a concluding sentence. If students write a 1-paragraph response, you're able to see what they've learned about the text, and you're also able to see their writing style. Assigning a body paragraph like this makes it easier for you as the teacher to give students feedback. Plus, you could assign a couple different body paragraph type assignments before an essay. That way, students can apply the corrections from one assignment to the next before their big assessment. A third option of a meaningful assignment that is also relatively quick to grade is an outline. And I like to do these with my students, even if I don't actually intend for them to write the essay. It's a great way for them to practice organizing their thoughts and creating that line of reasoning. And it's a way for me to make sure that they understand the different concepts that we're discussing in class. And of course, if you do want your students to ultimately write an essay, the outline can be a great way to have them organize their thoughts in advance. That way they can show you their best writing when it comes time to do the essay. Now that we've talked about how shorter assignments can reduce the amount of time you're spending grading, let's talk about how to give meaningful feedback that doesn't take hours. For me, it comes down to 2 words: glow and grow. A glow is praise for the student, and a grow is a suggestion for improvement. So I try to give students at least 1 glow and grow per assignment. For a little bit longer assignments, I usually give them 2 glows and 2 grows because I want to acknowledge the work that they're putting in and the progress that they're making. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but wait a minute. What about the thesis statements? That's a sentence. Do they really need a glow with that? And the answer is yes. Honestly, there have been a couple times where I have had students read their glow comment and smile ear to ear. I've even had a couple students tell me, no one's ever told me I'm a good writer before, but I think I can really do this. If one sentence from me praising their effort or praising their progress is all that I need to do to make that transformation start to happen, then I'm going to do that. So I think it's important to recognize that our students need that support. They want to know what they're doing well, but at the same time, we also want to let them know that they could use this as an opportunity to improve. And sometimes students are more willing to take their grow seriously if they've read their glow first. Now, when it comes to the grow, this can be a little bit tricky because oftentimes as teachers, we could see several things that a student might need to improve upon. And we need to remember a couple things. Number one, we're not their editor. So we don't need to be correcting every single comma splice or subject verb issue or misspelled word. We want to focus our comments on their content, their ideas. Now, if you're giving students an assignment with a rubric, we also want to keep the rubric in mind as we're giving grow feedback. So if students were short a couple points on the rubric, what can they do to improve their score? Now, if there is no rubric, we really want to think about what can they do to help their content the most. I also try to ask myself, are there any quick fixes that this student can make to improve the quality of their writing? And a quick fix could be something like not writing contractions and writing out the words instead. Or it could be putting a noun after this to avoid an unclear antecedent. Now, these might not be the most crucial things for that student to fix, but it is something that they can do quickly, and that way they can feel like they're making progress. So with the idea of glow and grow, the key is to make sure that you're providing meaningful feedback specific to that student, but at the same time, you also want to make sure that you're not writing too much. Sometimes students see several comments and they feel like they've done something wrong. With the glow and grow feedback method, you don't actually have to write the words glow and grow, but you could if you want to. I think the important thing is to recognize that we want to give our students individual feedback. We want to make sure it's tailored to what they need, but also that it's not overwhelming to them. The great thing about glow and grow feedback is that you can do it with paper assignments and digital assignments. Speaking of digital assignments, that brings me to my third tip. Here are a couple ways that you can streamline your digital feedback to students. As you can see here, we have a sample assignment in Google Classroom. This is a body paragraph that admittedly needs a little bit of work. So let's talk about two different ways that we could streamline our digital feedback to students, saving us time, but still giving them the quality feedback that they need to improve. Sometimes when we're giving students feedback, we feel like there's too much to write, or sometimes it's just easier to explain it verbally as opposed to writing it down, or maybe we just want to add that personal touch to our students' feedback. In these cases, I think Mote, which is a Google extension, is a great option. So you can see here that I already have it added on. It says add hypermote. So if I were to highlight what I wanted to comment on and click that button, then it pops up here. I'm able to click this purple button and I could leave my student feedback. So here's what it looks like. Hey, I just want to let you know that I received your assignment and I think you're off to a great start. I really like to see that you're incorporating some evidence from the text in the form of a paraphrase. Okay, so that was my feedback to this student. And you can see here that it's 11 seconds long and we're able to play it. I'm going to click insert. And that way, when the student is looking at their feedback, they could see that quick little comment that I did off the cuff there. So again, that was Mote, M-O-T-E, a Google extension. And you can actually use it to leave voice recordings like I did by highlighting any specific portion of the text and it'll pop up in the margin, just like a suggested edit would. Or you can actually do it over here where it says private comments. You can see that there is a place to record a Mote as well. The private comment box here is where I like to put the glow and grow feedback that I give to my students, though sometimes I will make comments in the margin like this over here as well. Now, another way that we can streamline the process of leaving our students feedback is by using the comment bank. I do like to make sure that my feedback is tailored to individual students, but at the same time, there are times when I've written the same comment on multiple assignments, and the comment bank is a way to streamline this process. So right now I am on the grading screen, but if I want to go to the comment bank, then I just need to go to this icon right here. I'm going to click it, and this is the comment bank. So if you've never used it before, your comment bank is going to be blank, but it's pretty easy to add comments. All you do is you click right here where it says add to bank, and then you can type in your comment. So this box is going to pop up, and this is where you can write the comment that you want to add to your comment bank. So for the sake of example, let's do something pretty simple. Let's say write out contractions. So however you would word the feedback to your students, you're going to type it there. You're going to click add. And then now it's in your comment bank. So what you can do is you could copy it to clipboard, go back to grading, and let's say that I wanted to post that comment here. I've got it copied and pasted, and voila, it streamlines the process. All right, secondary English teachers, there you have it. Those are 3 tips that have helped me streamline my essay grading process, and I know they will help you as well. So number 1, remember, we want to assign shorter assignments. Number 2, we want to leave meaningful feedback, but not too much feedback. That's why I like the glow and grow feedback method. And then number 3, if you assign digital assignments, use either Mote or the comment bank in order to streamline that process even more. I hope you found these tips helpful, and until next time, happy teaching!